1982 Corvette. The finely honed result of an evolutionary process, combining high technology, new materials, and consistently original thinking.
They're all around us, and I just have so much road rage!
You see what happens? You see what happens, Larry?
Today's review will be on the Takara Tomy Transformers! And this is for the MP-26 Cybertron Ground Air Combatant Road Rage. With this figure being 7 years old, it was released in 2015. You're probably asking me, hey Foo, why are you reviewing such an older Transformer? Well, because I live in a time machine, and number one, 2015 was like yesterday for me because I just zipped back there a few minutes ago and bought this thing when it was brand new. And two, well, there is no number two. You say tomato, I say time machine. And you know what? My time machine is the MacGuffin and the reason why nothing adds up on my videos date-wise. And you know what? That doesn't matter because this is awesome. Now, you may remember that I've already reviewed the Masterpiece Trax figure. Now, that Trax figure and this figure share the same exact mold. And because these Masterpiece figures are so expensive, I don't usually like to get, the same mold more than once. Now, I say usually, but it does tend to happen from time to time. And on a very rare occasion, I have been known to buy the same mold 3 times. And seeing these 3 standing side by side and knowing that this mold was used in more than just these 3 figures, and knowing that I would take them if I just had the opportunity, yeah, it does make my wallet worry a little bit.
You're gonna be alright. You're gonna be alright. Please. Kill me.
Looking at the back of the box, and it's the same as all the other Masterpiece boxes. You get multiple photos showing off the character in both robot mode and car mode, not to mention mode. And then over here you get a photo showing off Road Rage and how she scales with Bumblebee and Wheeljack. Down below them you get a little photo of all of her accessories. Now it is worth noting that she comes with all the same accessories that Trax did, albeit repaints in some cases, except for she doesn't come with the flight stand. So if you want to put her in mask mode like this, she won't be able to fly around. But then again, she is a Corvette, so maybe she's like Calhoun Burns' Raven, and maybe it's more of a seaplane that floats on the water. Who knows? Maybe that's why she didn't come with a stand. But you know what? This is awesome, and I cannot wait to see the figure. But first, let's look at the front of the package one more time. So, here's the front of the package for the very last time. Now, when Takara Tomy first started to release the Diaclone Masterpiece figures, I stayed away from them because I was too busy getting the G1 characters in Masterpiece form. And with as cool as the Diaclone figures were, and even though they predate G1, I always saw them as just repaints of already existing characters from the G1 cartoon. I mean, if you're going to get a Masterpiece mold, you might as well get the one based on the character from the cartoon. That's the way I saw it. But now that I've got a decent-sized G1 Masterpiece collection, I started branching out into getting other figures that I've wanted from the beginning. One of which being Road Rage. And even though I identify this mold as Trax, it's so cool to finally get a whole new character that I never had a toy of. And instead of blue, she just happens to transform into a red 1982 Stingray Corvette. And that just happens to be my favorite car of all time. And you know what? I say we waste no more time, and I say we open it!
The Transformers will return after these messages.
Diaclone.
キャリアカーとしてカーロボット対前進基地としてさらに合体してパワーロボットに宝のカーロボットパワードコンボイ
We now return to the Transformers.
With the figure removed from the package, you might be thinking that Road Rage is displayed inside of a clam tray, but I like to think of this as a little plastic prison, kind of like a penalty box in a hockey game, and she's being punished for being a little too road ragey around her fellow Autobots. Underneath her plastic prison were her instructions and her card, and I love the art on the card there. It shows off all 3 modes. That is awesome. So, here's Road Rage released from her plastic prison, and I may be a little biased, but this car is absolutely beautiful. Not only did they get all the Diaclone details right, well, all but one, but we'll talk about that in a minute, but because this is a licensed Corvette, they got all the details of a real Corvette as well. Starting with the front end, I'm already in love. This looks absolutely amazing. The headlights are in the closed configuration. You've got the little hood ornament there on the nose of the car, and you can even make out where the license plate goes. That is awesome. Working our way up to her hood, and you can see that they painted on the flaming Autobot symbol, and that looks awesome. Maybe a little too Trans-Am-y, but maybe Road Rage is a Burt Reynolds fan, you never know.
Aren't we all?
Now, this symbol was on the original Diaclone Corvette. Now, this is where my one complaint lies with getting one of the details wrong with the Diaclone figure. On the old toy, instead of an Autobot symbol, because that was long before this symbol was created, they had a C and an S, and I really wish they would have painted that on there instead of the Autobot symbol. I mean, she's got an Autobot symbol right up there. I mean, why does she need two that close together? But you know what? It's no big deal. I just wish that they would have given us like a sticker option that said C and S or something like that. I know you can get them from toy hacks and junk, but I really wish that it was just already painted on there, because that's something that I wish carried over from the old vintage Diaclone figure. Looking in through the windshield, you can see that Road Rage fell asleep behind the wheel again. Up here at the roof, you can see underneath the Autobot symbol an authentic Corvette detail, the two roof covers that come off to reveal the T-top, and that is awesome. Looking at the back of the car, and you can even make out the Corvette emblem on top of the gas cap cover. That is really cool indeed. This type of Corvette has the little back fin that I absolutely love, the little round headlights, and a space for the license plate. They got absolutely every detail and every curve of a Corvette Stingray 100% perfect, and I love it. One detail you probably noticed was missing were her rear view mirrors, but that's because you have to put them on yourself, and she came with extras. As for her accessories, she includes a plasma discharger weapon, a laser ram weapon that goes on the front end of the car, and a tiny little companion in twin cast. And check that out, he even has an Autobot symbol painted on there. That is awesome. With the rear view mirrors attached, and with as much as I'd love to leave her in car mode forever, it's time to transform her and put her in robot mode. And even though I can't wait to see her in robot mode, I'm going to be equally sad to see the Corvette mode go away. Because the worst part about this toy is you can't display the Corvette and the robot at the same time. And I think a wiser man than me summed it up best when he said,
Oh, how it pains me to do this!
and so, without further ado, I say we transform her! So, here's Road Rage transformed, and she looks awesome! You know what I miss? I miss Transformers that are fun to transform. I mean, when you got the old G1 toys, you could transform a Transformer in like under a minute, and it was fun, easy. You could go back and forth from robot to car or vehicle or whatever, just back and forth, and it was just fun, man. These Masterpiece ones, oh, it's like a Rubik's Cube on crack. I don't know how to explain it, but like down here at the front end of the car, you know, the shark nose front end of the Corvette, it's like, I don't know, clipped together, or I don't know where it is, but you know what, man, that thing was like glued shut, and I could not get it to, you know, split apart. And, you know, this plastic, although it feels like, you know, it's a nice toy, it still feels kind of fragile and brittle and stuff, so you're just really afraid you're going to break it. Because, I mean, there's points where you're, like, really forcing it, like you're trying to open a jar or something. And, man, it is not fun. It's scary the whole way, and you know what? I miss the old Transformers. But that said, there's no denying that this figure just looks awesome. She is amazing. As you can see, she's got a brand new head there. And I love her eyes, the shape of her face, everything. Top part of the car there, where the white part is, that's new or whatever. I love how her symbol here has the black background. It really does kind of harken back to the old rub symbols, because I believe she had one of those, or at least the Trax figure had one of those, I should say. And man, that's pretty awesome indeed. Yeah, this looks cool. Looking at her from behind, and you can see most of the tail end of the Corvette right there. Inside of here, where you have to put the doors, I had to glue the little rear view mirrors on because they just kept flying off, and I didn't want to lose them or whatever, and I wanted them in there, you know, in case I ever transform her back to Corvette mode. I wanted them attached. But man, as you can see there, you would have had the C and the S on either leg. That would have been really cool, but you know what? That's still awesome indeed. Yeah, I love it. They changed her thighs. Her thighs are actually rounded now. That's pretty awesome. But yeah, this figure is amazing. I am very happy to finally have her. Like I said, a red Corvette is my favorite car of all time, and this figure is awesome. So here's Road Rage standing alongside Trax, and because these two share the same mold, you will notice a lot of similarities. But if you look carefully, you'll also notice a few differences. Like their upper thighs. His are blocky and square, hers are more curved and feminine looking. Up here near her head, that white piece is actually a different shape than the one that's on the Trax figure. And one really cool difference is she includes a gun that looks identical to the same gun that came with the original G1 Trax figure, whereas he came with a gun that looks more like it jumped out of the cartoon. So that is really awesome. You could actually give him that gun if you wanted a more G1 accurate Masterpiece Trax figure. Now, do you need both of these figures in your collection? I say yes, because they definitely look like different characters, and especially if you love red Corvettes as much as I do. Besides, don't we all need a little road rage in our lives? So, there's my very quick review of the Takara Tomy Transformers Masterpiece MP-26 Road Rage! And man, she is awesome. I absolutely love her in car mode, and I love her in robot mode. And you know what? Even if you have the Masterpiece Trax figure, I still recommend getting this one too, because she is awesome. Now you're probably saying, hey, that wasn't much of a review. Well, this figure came out a long time ago, and everybody and their dog has already reviewed it before I did. So, that's all you get. But before I go, I will leave you with this little public service announcement. You probably noticed in this video I never showed her off in her mask flying Corvette mode. Well, that's because everybody showed that mode off. I'm going to show you a little secret about this toy that probably you never knew. You see the little ornament there on the front of the car? Well, if you touch it just right, it should play music. Oh, hold on. If you touch it just right, it should play music. And, oh, there we go. And just like that, she becomes an actual size Corvette Stingray. Yeah, that's better than showing off the mask mode, isn't it? Food review!
Hey, this is Nolan North. You don't want to miss Foo Reviews.